So guys, we're pretty god. This is the copyright.
Hi, welcome to Math Antics. In this lesson, we're going to learn about ratios. Whoa, what in the world's a ratio? Well, let's look it up in a math book to find out. It says here that a ratio is a comparison of two numbers by division. Well, that's true, but it's also a little confusing. And it's confusing because most of us think of comparing numbers as trying to decide if a number is greater than, less than, or equal to another number. But with ratios, we're not trying to compare numbers like that. Instead, we're really trying to see how two numbers relate to each other. And so at Math Antics, we like to think of ratios as a relationship between two numbers by division. Okay, but how do you compare or show how two numbers are related by division? Well, to see what the by division part really means, let's look at an example of a ratio. Excuse me, that's not a ratio, that's a fraction. Oh, it's a ratio all right. Mathematically, ratios and fractions are basically the same thing. It's just that when we use a fraction in a particular way, we call it a ratio. Well, sure, everybody knows that. Well, like I was saying, ratios are basically just like fractions. The difference is how we use them to describe things in the real world. To see what I mean, let's look at examples of how we could use the fraction 1 over 2 and the ratio 1 over 2. Mathematically, these are both the same thing. They're just the division problem 1 divided by 2. But in the case of the fraction, we usually treat it as if it's just a single number. For example, at lunchtime, you might eat 1 sandwich, or if you're really hungry, you might eat 2 sandwiches. But if you're not very hungry, you might just have half a sandwich. We can use the fraction 1/2, just like we use 1 or 2 to show how many sandwiches you eat. It's just that in the case of 1/2, we know that it's only part of a sandwich, just a fraction of one. Now let's see how we can use the ratio 1 over 2. With a ratio, we don't treat it as if it's just a single number. Instead, we pay close attention to the top and bottom numbers because we use them to refer to different things. For example, let's say we're planning to go on a picnic, and for every 2 people that are going on the picnic, we're only bringing 1 sandwich. In that case, we'd say that the ratio of sandwiches to people is 1 to 2, or 1 sandwich per 2 people. Do you see the difference between our fraction and our ratio? The math part of each of them is the same. But with the fraction, both the top and bottom numbers are referring to the same thing, the sandwich. However,
Okay guys, I'm just gonna pause and say that this reminds me a bit of stuff over people, a strategy that Mr. Wait, is someone calling to me? I'm very sorry. Why am I sorry? I'm very sorry. My mom barged in, so I decided to just go with it. So yeah, we're doing an educational segment right now, guest. Just right now. Don't worry, we'll be on to Roblox in like a few minutes.
with the ratio, the top and bottom numbers are referring to different things, sandwiches and people. The fraction shows a part of something, but the ratio shows a relationship or a comparison between 2 different things. And you can see that they're the same thing mathematically, because if you did have the ratio of 1 sandwich per every 2 people on a picnic, guess how much of a sandwich each person would get? Yep, half a sandwich. All right, so now you know that fractions and ratios are basically the same thing. But since they're used differently in math, sometimes they're also shown differently. Once in a while, instead of seeing the standard division form, a ratio might be represented with this symbol. When you see a ratio written this way, it just means 1 to 2 or 1 per 2. For example, in this picture, you could say that the ratio of dogs to cats is 3 to 2. 3 dogs to 2 cats. And you could also write it in the standard division form, 3 dogs over 2 cats. They're just different ways to write the same ratio. Ratios are used all the time to represent all sorts of things in real-world situations. So let's see a few more examples to help you really understand what ratios are. Have you ever wanted to compare apples to oranges, but someone told you you couldn't? Well, you can with a ratio. Now let's say a fruit stand sells 5 apples for every 3 oranges they sell. The ratio of apples to oranges would be 5 to 3. Or, have you ever helped someone bake cookies? The recipe might tell you that for every 2 cups of flour, you need 1 cup of sugar. That means that the ratio of flour to sugar is 2 to 1. Or, what about your TV screen or your computer monitor? Have you ever heard someone say that the size or aspect ratio is 16 to 9? 16 to 9 is the ratio of the screen's width to its height. So if the screen is 16 inches wide, then its height would be 9 inches tall. Here's another good ratio that you might use in your car. 40 miles per hour. Aha! Didn't you say that a ratio was a relationship between 2 numbers? But 40 miles per hour is just 1 number. Looks like someone's got some explaining to do. Actually, there are 2 numbers. Do you remember how any number can be written like a fraction just by writing 1 as the bottom number? Well, 40 miles per hour is the ratio 40 miles per 1 hour. Well, I guess you have an answer for everything, don't you? 40 miles per 1 hour is a type of ratio that we call a rate. A rate is just a ratio that usually involves a period of time. Here are some common examples of rates. 10 meters per second, $12 per hour, 3 meals per day, 50 games per year. Notice that the bottom numbers in each of these ratios relate to a period of time. Seconds, hours, days, years. And that's why we call them a rate. Alright, so that's simple enough. But you might be wondering, why are the bottom numbers of all these rates 1? Couldn't you have a rate like 90 meters per 9 seconds? Or $60 per 5 hours? We sure could. But most of the time, when we have rates like that, we want to convert them into an equivalent rate that has 1 as the bottom number. And that's because whenever the bottom number represents only 1 unit of time, like 1 hour or 1 day, it makes comparing different rates much easier. For example, imagine 2 cars driving at 2 different rates. The first car's rate is 120 miles per 3 hours, and the second car's rate is 150 miles per 5 hours. Which car is going faster? Well, it's not all that easy to tell.
Okay, guys, we're gonna figure out this problem for a second. Okay, that car is the blue car is obviously going faster. Actually, no, give me a second. No, it can't be the blue car, but it can't be the red car. Maybe they're going the same. Let's see. Actually, yeah, it's the blue car.
Tell when the rates have different bottom numbers. Fortunately, it's really easy to change a rate so that it has 1 as the bottom number. All you have to do is divide the top number by the bottom number. The answer you get is the top number of the new equivalent rate, and the bottom number is just 1. Rates like this are called unit rates because unit means 1. All right, let's convert the rates of speed for our 2 cars into unit rates so that we can compare them easily. The first car's rate was 120 miles per 3 hours. So if we take 120 and divide it by
Oh my god, I get this now.
3, we get 40. That means that the unit rate...
Guys, let me tell you why I'm doing this. My math teacher offered to me if I could teach a class for him. So being the person I am, I said yes. So now I'm studying ratios.
for the first car is 40 miles.
Okay.
Miles per hour. The second car's rate was 150 miles per 5 hours. So if we divide 150 by 5, we get 30. So the unit rate for the second car is 30 miles per hour. And now you can easily tell that the first car is going faster. And you can tell why unit rates are so helpful. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. We've learned that a ratio is basically just like a fraction. But instead of showing what part of something you have, it shows the relationship between two different things. We also learned that when one of those two things is time, we call the ratio a rate. And last of all, we learned how to convert a rate into a unit rate for easy comparison. As always, thanks for watching Math Antics, and I'll see you next time. Learn more at mathantics.com.
Okay, thank you to Math Antics for giving me this. I'm going to look at one more resource and then we're going to... Ratios introduction.
G'day, welcome to the Tech Math channel.
I'm just going to look at one more, guys, and then we're going to look at some Common Core, and then we're going to go play Roblox. So yeah, that's basically the schedule. Alright, guys.
What we're going to be having a look at in this video is ratios. This is just a basic introduction into ratios. And in some later videos, we will be looking at how to play around with these and work out some more complex things with them. So first off, what is a ratio? A ratio is a way of comparing two or more sets of quantities. I'll give you an example of that if that sounds a little bit funny. So say I was looking at the amount of cordial in a drink. Okay? So I've bought myself some cordial, I'm adding it to a drink, and it could say something like I'm adding for every 3 parts cordial, 1, 2, 3, 3 parts cordial, I have 7 parts water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this would be said to have a ratio of 3 parts to 7. 3 is to 7, okay, and this is how we write these. Alright, so we're comparing one quantity to another quantity. So they're pretty simple, and you can do this for all sorts of quantities, okay? Whether it be things to do with weight or just even sheer amounts of things. And we'll go through a few examples with this. So just a couple of things with ratios. The first one is this. I guess the first thing I'd want to tell you is that units are important with ratios. I'll give you an example. Say I wanted to compare 3 centimetres to a measurement of 20 centimetres.
20 centimeters.
You'll notice that these are both in centimetres, and it's fairly simple. We could say that these had a ratio, you guessed it, of 3 is to 20. Okay, we don't actually write the units, we just write it has a ratio of 3 is to 20.
Some math teacher.
But I'll make this a little bit harder now. Say, for example, I change this to, or I change it to 2 metres. Now how would you write a ratio of these two amounts? Because you'll notice that we have different units. So we're going to change one of these units. I'm not going to change the centimetres here. I'm going to leave that the same, 3 centimetres. But I'm going to change this so that the 2 metres is also in centimetres. There's 100 centimetres in a metre, so this is 200 centimetres. Now we can easily write a ratio where this is a ratio of 3 is to 200. Okay? Now, we're going along fairly well with this, so hopefully you're not finding it too hard, because it is fairly simple, but a few people do, panic when they get these. So the other thing with ratios is ratios can also be written as fractions. So say we were looking at something like, okay, what about seconds and minutes? Say I was looking at 17 seconds, and I wanted to compare this to 1 minute. Now, first off, what you'll notice is to write this as a ratio, I need to change this, okay? So I'm going to change this all into seconds, 17 seconds, and 60 seconds here, okay? So we'd have a ratio of 17 is to 60. We can also write this as 17 over 60. We can write this in a fractional form, okay? And that's all that means is, but ratios can also be written in a fractional form. The other thing with ratios
Okay, what program does this guy use? I need to see.
is they can be made into more simple forms, okay? This is something we're going to have a look at more extensively in another video. So I'll give you an example of this. Say I was talking about the amount of kids walking to school. We could say 20% of kids in a class didn't walk to school. They got a lift off their parents, and 80% walked to school. So we could write this as a ratio as 20 to 80, okay? And that's fine. We've got a ratio there of 20 to 80. But you can actually simplify this further. You're going to notice that 10 goes into these numbers. So I could divide 10 into both of these, all right? And if I do that, divided by 10, I would get 2 is to 8. And you might look at that and go, hey, wait a second. 2 also goes into this number. 2 goes into both of these numbers once and 4 times. 2 goes into 2 once and into 8 4 times. So we can simplify a ratio and make it more simple. And you'll notice that, this is always 4 times as much as this. This number, 80 is 4 times as much as this number, and 8's 4 times as much as 2. And
okay, I think we watched enough. Now, I'm going to search up a teacher's program so I can actually teach something. Actually, I'll look at the YouTube website first for education. Let's just see. Category education. Click on that hyperlink. God, everything is about math. Everything is about math now. Understanding Common Core. That's quite interesting. Well, so guys, Lego's live. What the heck?
Hi, I'm Kristen Keller, owner.
Should I accidentally clicked on something? Okay. Guys, and this math stuff is gonna become very important because of the fact that I'm doing scripting and that involves a butt ton of I shouldn't say that. Right. Cool. Common Core standards. Let's go just search this up, then search it up into Google because I hate Yahoo. I flippin' hate Yahoo. Google. Right, there we go. Preparing America's students for success. Says, yeah, I don't care. Read the standards. Mathematics. Grade 6. Ratios and proportions. Well, Oh my god. Brent, more cow. Hey! Let's try to solve that in our head and then let's go to nope. Okay, to actually solve it. Oh my god. I thought it was division. Okay, that's easy. That's just like. Give me a second to think about it. Plus 7, that's 14. 14, alright. Plus 9, that's 16.
Oh, this is so funny.
7, 4. I'm gonna use calculator, mate. I can't do this one. How do you do this in your head, man? Okay, mathematics. There we go. There we go. Here's a math question. Boy, it's like I know this ratios and dividing by decimals and all this stuff, and yet I can't even add this stuff in my head. And he won't tell me. Well, good for you, guys. You have fooled me. I shouldn't think about it too much. Wait a minute, that's so easy. It's just 1, 1, 8. This is 1178 minus 3. I did. It's 1175. Well, guys, we came here to do. Well, guys, at first we started as a gaming stream, but now we're doing math. That's so simple. For a second, I was like, wait, what? And then I realized it was flipping 97, and it's like, just take away the 3 at the end. There's a trick, man. I use tricks when. Contents. I K to 8 standards. Higher mathematics. Okay. Okay. 40. Alright. Oh my god. How many pages is this? 40. Okay. I don't know about you. There we go. God, can't it get some like hyperlinks for God's sake? There you go. Oh my god, that's so easy. That's so easy, bro. You just have to take away the 0. How many tricks can I pull off? A lot. Be right back.
This guy.
Mom, please don't watch it. It's gonna ruin my history.
Why?
I don't want that on my history, Mom. What's this on your own?
Okay, let me just watch this.
You're obsessed with that guy now. Wait, what? Do I have to do it in my head, or is there some simple trick? In my head? Are you crazy, Summerbait? Are you crazy? I'm just gonna use Big 7, which is a standard my teacher teaches me. It's called Big 7. If Summer Bates says no, then I'm just gonna try my best to do it. Who does this in their heads? As a mathematics genius, I still do not understand. Alright guys, I gotta read this. Alright guys, so I'm just gonna want me to read. Well, no. Okay. Is there some trick I'm overlooking? I'm gonna put you in the time. I'm gonna put him. God, all the Discord messages, where are they coming from? Okay, grade 6. It's like no, maybe. It turned from a no to a maybe. That's like a 50% difference. Okay, this is to the point where it's too quiet. I'm gonna put some music on. If I look at it hard enough, maybe there is, but I really don't think so.
It's in the air, broken alone. I feel the rain crash.
Where's that one? There we go. Yeah, there we go. God, we're having a lot of fun just doing math problems. you kidding me? Oh well, I guess I'm gonna have to use this tab. God, what happened to Google Chrome? Someone please tell me. Let's just reload this page. Let's-
Want to master video editing skills and make gorgeous YouTube videos like Zoella, PewDiePie, or other superstars the like?
My father told me when I was young.
Mental. Come on. No, no. There. grade.
You have 8 minutes.
Actually, 5. Start the shower in 5 minutes. Does anyone need I need to turn this off for a second. I need to focus. DS, US, SD.
Someone said, Mom, come pick me up. That doesn't have food here. Yeah. That's mean to me? Get back that cutie.
Hmm. Common core. Please, please, please. Please give me something good. Oh my god, are you kidding me? This again? Where's the actual resources to actually... Where are the workbooks? Where are the books? Where are the workbooks? I'm serious, where? Okay. Let's try look.
Hey friend, I'm starting the shower.
Will this work? Gage's probably dead with the Google Chrome. That play's probably dead with the Google Chrome. You don't like it. Sorry, mate, but this is just what I gotta do right now. I'll do gaming in in the next stream or after I take my shower.
No, puppy, there is no stream after the shower. That's why I'm letting you go till 8:30. Okay, it's time. Then I'm not letting you stream. Why do you break the deals? Okay, well, you said we're gonna do shower and Melly. So start getting in the shower. Brush your teeth already, puppy. Get in here, bro.
Well, guys, we only have like 3 minutes until we take our like 13-minute break, so I gotta get something done. Alright, guys, we're gonna focus as hard as possible. I'm actually going to teach Star Wars role reviews. I'm just trying to be. As you may know, I'm just jokingly saying this, but I am a child prodigy. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out the standards so I can teach them. So basically, what I'm teaching is ratios. We watched some videos. So now I'm gonna look up some teacher programs. Oh my god, so when I put teacher programs, okay. Digital, digital whiteboard. Hmm. 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 I'm so used to Google. Google. I think Google might know what I mean. Stop showing me ads. Okay, guys, well, we have to take a 13-minute shower break, so let me
Okay, I'm gonna turn off this light at the top. Okay? Alright, I'm gonna give you like 15 minutes. I'm gonna check in with you.
Okay, guys, so
Ruben, can I ask you a question? Is there a reason why the toilet, that little room has to be semi-gloss? Can it be satin? The paint. I'm gonna paint in there. Is there a reason why it has to be semi-gloss? Once you get in there. Okay. Alright, that's all I need. I mean, does moisture get in there? Okay.
okay, guys, so we are basically just gonna try this. And what does this map view? Okay, guys, so we'll just delete that. We'll just delete that. Okay.
Alright, I'm setting the alarm, folks. Do I have a copy?
Copy. Alright, so this is, I hope this, let's see, Hi World. Let's undo and redo all that. Restore default. Wait, it just like goes like that? Might as well make these more close together. Oh, there we go. Why? Just like, delete. Wait, what? Okay. What in the world is going on? Hey, I'm a clam. Okay, delete. Dang it, this costs money. Okay, I'm gonna look for something. Why did I go to YouTube? Google. What? Heck. Where in the world can I find this? now I'm looking up, and then at the same time, what? Oh, now I'm looking up, and oh, there we go. Let's buy it on Amazon. Okay, what do I download? God, I've been working on this all night. I'm gonna pull a freaking all-nighter. Yeah, I'm bored of, I've been searching for so dang long. I'm just gonna...
Stop the stream, dude. You shouldn't be streaming anymore, Bucky. Stop the stream, dude.
Be right back, guys.
What kind of people are watching the stream? Is those people that say that are gonna be trolling you, dude? What's the matter, Bucky? Tell you what it is. Stop the stream. Lay down on your bed. If you want, come lay down over here and I'll let you watch a few videos. I'm reading my book. Stop the stream already, dude.
Well, guys, we're gonna stop the stream there. Next stream, I promise, will be gaming stream. We'll probably do it a bit later, though.